As flames engulfed vineyards in Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, California, in late October, power utility company Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E, was in even more trouble. Barely had the ink dried on the $11 billion settlement for claims relating to the wildfires of 2017 and 18 that another power line went down. Equipment owned and maintained by the company was found to have started at least 17 of 21 major fires 2 years ago, when homes of celebrities like Gerard Butler and Miley Cyrus were reduced to ash. This time, fires destroyed the house of California's former governor and muscle man, the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Will he still say,
"I'll be back"?
PG&E's desperate bid to avoid fires this year by switching off electricity to 1 million homes on especially windy days had obviously not worked. Gusty winds, often at over 100 miles per hour on really hot, dry days, can sometimes take a small spark from a train wheel to ignite into a raging wildfire. Most campers are now made aware not to leave smoldering embers, but to pour water on their campfires before leaving and be careful with cigarette butts, underscoring the fact that 85 to 90% of fires are man-made. 2 months earlier, on a sunny afternoon on August 19th, on the other side of the hemisphere, residents of Sao Paulo, Brazil, were stunned as dark clouds of smoke appeared over the horizon, rapidly blanketing the city.
It's Jesus' second coming. The apocalypse has arrived.
But this, too, was a man-made apocalypse. More than 1,850 miles away, large parts of the Amazon were being burnt to exploit the forest's resources. However, this process of exploitation began way back in 1964, during Brazil's military dictatorship.
The empty jungle is a security risk. Clear it and use it.
By the 1970s, Brazil built roads and logging tracks, running TV ads.
Come to the Amazon, where there is cheap land aplenty.
Soon, in an area the size of Texas, there were soy fields, timber factories, and cattle ranches. But early in the new millennium, facing international pressure, Brazil got serious about stopping deforestation and tried evicting settlers, fining almost every one of them, some as much as $40,000. The measures worked. Deforestation fell 83% from 2004 through 2012. But Brazil's suffering economy and a severe recession led to Jair Bolsonaro's victory with 79% of the vote, who ran on the promise,
"Not 1 square centimeter of Amazon's land will remain protected if I become president."
True to his word, he fired 21 of the 27 environmental agency IBAMA's state heads and created a new body to pardon environmental crimes.
If the Amazon is destroyed, it will become impossible to control global warming.
The 390 billion trees in the Amazon rainforest pull up a huge quantity of water from river basins below the surface, through whom water gathers in the atmosphere to deliver rain across a wide region. That balance may be disturbed by the loss of forest cover, and experts warn that the cycle may become irreversibly broken. With approximately 17% of the forest already lost, scientists believe that the tipping point can be anywhere between 20 to 25%. Already, the dry season has grown by over 15 days since the 1980s. In catastrophic events in history, like the asteroid strike that finished off the dinosaurs and much of the Earth's vegetation, the Earth repaired itself over hundreds of thousands of years.
Given enough time, the Earth's carbon cycle slowly reverts to a steady state.
The lungs of the world, the Amazon, spread over 2.12 million square miles across 9 countries, represents over half of the planet's remaining rainforests, and is larger in size than the EU. Locked in their leaves and trees are 120 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent to almost 12 years of global emissions at current rates. Burning even some of it may create a similar catastrophic event, but now the Earth will not have the luxury of time to heal itself, as humans assault it with one thing after another. These fears have not stymied loggers, who in the August 2019 burning season increased fires by nearly 4-fold as compared to last year. Natural fires allow forests to recycle themselves when overshadowing trees burn as sunlight reaches the forest floor, allowing new saplings to grow. But for these types of sustenance farmers, the slash and burn technique creates nutrient-rich fertile soil for agriculture, fueled by ashed trees. Though only for a few years, after which they must abandon the now degraded land and clear a new plot. This trail can now turn a forest into barren land. Construction of new highways in Brazil, like BR 319 and AM 364 in areas previously untouched, are an ominous warning for the future. Despite intense international pressure on Bolsonaro, he moved lazily to tackle the fires, calling them
a natural occurrence.
Fires do sometimes occur naturally, ignited by heat from the sun or by a lightning strike, but those are few and far between. But global warming is considered responsible for fires in the Arctic region, an area that traditionally rarely burned. 6 million acres of Siberian forest wildfires. Fires in Alaska have consumed more than 2.5 million acres of tundra and snow forest. Fires in Canada and across Europe. Portugal, Spain, France, England, Italy, and Greece, while 600 schools shut down in Malaysia and Singapore due to the thick plumes coming from Indonesia's 800,000-acre fire. 2,000 years ago, 80% of Europe was covered by forest area. That figure dropped to 10% by 1700, but due to major reforestation efforts, is back now to 35%. Europe became a powerful nation on the back of deforestation, which allowed modern farming, livestock, logging, and mining. Exactly what is happening in the Amazon now. Back in California, 4,150 firefighters and support teams were working to stop the blaze from spreading further by depriving them of one or more of the fire triangle fundamentals: fuel, heat, and oxygen. They use strategies called fire breaks, where vegetation ahead of the fire is cut down to starve it of fuel. Or fight fire with fire. The area towards which a fire is proceeding is purposely set ablaze. Known as a backfire, the two fires soon meet and burn each other out. In another fire at the edge of West Los Angeles, helicopters doused the hills with water and fire retardants to protect the priceless artworks at the nearby Getty Center. Before the Euro-American settlement in the 1800s, forests in California burned every 5 to 25 years from wildfires caused by lightning or Native American burning practices. But with power lines crossing forests to reach an ever-spreading population, utility companies will have to develop foolproof methods to prevent these mishaps.
Subscribe to BSBO, News Reimagined.